Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to SRL Season 1, Round 1. We are live from, well, the Middle East. We are in Saudi Arabia, and it is the first opportunity where these boys can earn points for the first time in their SRL careers. Last week, we was over in Blighty racing around Silverstone. It was a good race. It was some hard racing, but now the gloves are on for all of our lucky contenders who are going to be now competing to be the first ever SRL champion. It all starts right here with round 1. Now, my good friend and fellow commentator is Mr. AFL. Unfortunately, he is running slightly late. He will be with us. Don't you worry about that. He's fashionably late, as he always is. Now, formation lap is on this evening, boys. Apparently, EA has patched it. We'll find out the hard way if they have or not. Don't forget, if needs be, we can do a manual red flag, so do keep your Discord handy if ready. Speaking of Mr. AFL, he says that he's just got home. He'll be about 15 minutes, so it would be just me and you heading in to the qualifying session. So we have 19 drivers partaking today. I believe we've got a few reserves racing, one of which is Palmer, another one is Vizrion, I believe that's what his name is. He's commonly known as Lucas to his friends. Who else have we got, which is reserving for me tonight? Oh, my little minions, all getting ready to go onto the track, and that's what we love to see. So, grid allocations. We have got Wesley, Vizrion, Palmer, and Mr. Phantom Nug. They are all our reserves for the evening, here to give you the entertainment. Now, while reserves cannot earn points for the championship, they can earn points for the constructors. So, their points will still count towards other things. Right, let's just get everything up that we need to get up, shall we, while we get ready for our first outlap. Now, it does appear to be a McLaren that is leading, and that will be Mr. Daniel. Dan 94PL, he's been putting in a lot. No, it's not Dan, it is Mr. Baby Driver, more commonly known as Tom. His teammate Dan is keeping him company far behind him. McLaren's one of the favourites to win the Constructors' Championships this season, but then again, it is only round 1. It is still going to be a long way. We have got 15 rounds before we classify our first championship winner, and let's take a look at the calendar while these boys take us around for their hot lap. So, the calendar for Season 1, obviously we've had pre-season in Great Britain. Round 1, obviously, we're in Saudi Arabia. Next week, we'll be going over to Portugal, and then we'll have our first of 4 break weeks. Then we'll return for a double header, which will be Qatar and then Miami, where we then take our second break week. We're then back with a triple header, which is Australia, China, and the dreaded Monaco, which will sort the boys from the men. Then we'll have 2 break weeks in a row, and then it will be a mad dash to the finish, where rounds 8 through 15 will be Brazil, Mexico, Imola, Austria, Abu Dhabi, Belgium, Monza, before we crown our champion in Las Vegas. Now, we have had somebody leave the session. That is Jay Cole. Hopefully he can get back in. Obviously, Cole, if you are listening, do jump on board and let me know. Right, so here we go. We are now on board with Baby Driver for what will be the first hot lap of the evening. He's been putting in practice all week, and he's determined to make a name for himself. Tom, new to E-League Racing, and that could have been an invalidation there, Tom. You're lucky to get away with it, but we'll let it slide and we'll let it keep going. If anyone is in the pits and they can drop an invite to Mr. Cole, hopefully we can get him back in the lobby. Unfortunately, I won't be able to, because otherwise it'll block the stream until, AFL can get on. We got a yellow flag in sector 1, obviously slow driving there, but Tom is doing a lovely job in that McLaren. Hopefully we get the chrome McLaren very shortly. Salvatore has retired. So Tom is coming around the last corner now, and he is going to be setting the benchmark for today's session. What is it going to be? The first hot lap of the session is going to be a 1:31.5. That's a lovely time, but Dan slicing it by 4 seconds. And the next one across the line is going to be a Haas. I don't know which Haas it's going to be. Oh, we've got quite a few drivers coming around. Atomic goes to Provisional P2 of 1 minute 30. That's a lovely time from him. And then obviously the reserve of Visrion has gone 1 minute 32. Kratos, probably pronounced your name wrong again. I know you sent me a message telling me how to pronounce your name. What's it called? Come in at P6. Everybody's coming in left, right, centre. Mr. Mark Wilson with a P2. Jack with a P5. Wesley with a P4. Shades with a P3. Everybody's crossing the line. I'm just going to wait for everybody to finish crossing before we can play catch up, and then we'll go for a rundown as everyone crosses the line. Right, who are we on board with here? We're on board with Kino, as AFL likes to call him. Right. Hang on. I can't keep doing this because it blocks the stream. If you leave the session now and can't get back in, that is it. Nothing I can do from this moment on. Right, Kino goes P11. We've got quite a few drivers coming around now at the moment. Right, we're going to jump on board with one of the Aston. Oh, I believe it's Palmer that's going to be going next. Oh, he's going dead slow, so we're not going to stay on board with him. Bracey in the Aston Martin seems to be setting a good lap. Let's go on board with him and see. Right, Bracey is going to be coming around the last corner. I believe Palmer is taking it nice and slow. Got a few drivers coming in now. What is Bracey going to do? Here we go. He's going to be the next to cross the line. Bracey goes provisional P5. So an Aston Martin P4, P5 as it stands. Obviously, normally when you got co-coms, obviously people are able to keep a bit. So obviously just bear with us while obviously AFL just join the session. Right, so we're going to stick on board with Palmer at the moment. Appears to have a bit of damage by the looks of it. So, as it stands, Dan is provisional P1, Mark P2, not much separating him and James Shades. Literally a hundredth of a second pretty much there. Then you've got Phantom Nug, provisional P4, Bracey P5, Wesley P6, Jack P10, Baby Driver P8, Severe Scott P9, Joanne is in 10th, Wee Rabby P11, Atom P12, Kino P13, Kitas 14th, Viserion is in 15th, Dean Pryor in 16th, Palmer still yet to set a time. Dead slow down the track, but he was letting obviously one of the drivers in front of him go ahead. Let's go and take a look. See, I believe that was a Aston Martin. I believe he's on an in-lap though. Let's take a look. Tom's not got much ERS, so I'm going to assume he's on an in-lap. Wee Ravi's not got much ERS. What about Dean? Dean's got some. Let's jump aboard with him and see if he can go. Right, well, it's confirmed that J. Cole is back in the session. He is on an outlap, so luckily he was able to get back in. Right, let's take a look, see and see what's going on. Is he going to be staying out? Yes, he is staying out now. Can Dean improve? He's previously set a 1 minute 34, currently the slowest time, and he does improve to provisional P2 with a 1 minute 27.9. That's the Dean I've been seeing behind the scenes. He's been doing a lot of practicing as well. And it's going to be an interesting season. We've got our favourites, obviously. Well, I say our favourites. We've got our predictions that we should say to win the title. Obviously, it's a long way to the top. Right, Wee Rabby is coming in. Palmer is in. He's still yet to set a time. So we're going to jump on board with J. Cole, commonly known as Husky. Husky, the co-head admin of the SRL, representing Team Admin, as he takes to try and potentially win the first of the Drivers' Championships. But then again, admins potentially don't do well when it comes to e-league racing, so we're going to have to wait and see if he can bring home the gold for the trophy cabinet. I've got my lilt. Oh, there's a bit of a yellow flag in Sector 2. Remember, people, if you are racing and you are watching, and you see a bit of foul play, remember, if you want to put it in our stewards chat, we'll review any footage. And a very good evening to Miss Danielle, and obviously cheering on her man, Mr. Mark Wilson. It's always lovely to have you here, Danielle. It's good to see that you are supporting the SRL as well as the CRL. J. Cole does invalidate, unfortunately, so this time won't count. He's already realised this, and I believe he has turned his ERS assistance off. Right, Wesley, we're going to jump on board with him for a bit and show him some love in the Haas, the reserve driver. Now, fun fact tonight, the Haas drivers, none of them are full-time drivers. It's a team of reserves. So Haas are going to be sitting there. Lovely jubbly. We're going to be getting the points for the constructors, but our drivers are currently AWOL. So, at least they're still going to be getting some points, at least. Let me know in the comments below, who are you cheering on? Obviously, let your friends and family know that SRL is now live. Tell grandma to get in the chat. Tell uncle. Tell whoever. SRL is now live. Well, I'll tell you what, Wesley's just set a fastest Sector 1. So we're going to stick on board with him and see how well he can improve. He's currently P7 on there. Still 8 minutes left to go. Obviously, Saudi Arabia, probably a very low chance of rain. But like I said, low chance of rain. 100% chance? Nah, it's never a 100% chance. 99% chance of dry. However, there's always that 1% chance in Saudi Arabia. Have you ever drove this track in the wet? I have. It's nightmare fuel. Yeah, this is an evil track. But it's a fun track. It's a quick track. However, one false move and you're going to be making a drive-through. Well, not a drive-through penalty. I mean, quite literally, a drive-through. We'll put a Burger King in the hole in the wall and we'll be serving burgers through that. Anyway, I was getting distracted there. I can tell I haven't eaten tea yet. Wesley does improve and goes provisional P2. Dan still sitting there, quite confident in P1. But however, not much separates him and the top three. Dean, Wesley and Dan all battling. So no doubt we'll see them all back on track a little bit later on. Let's jump on board with... Oh, as we've jumped on board with him, he's currently making the drive-through for us. Mr. Mark Wilson's in a wall. He's lost a wing. What are you doing, Mark? Oh, you better not be retiring on track. Oh, he seems to have spun as well. He's going backwards on track. You're going to get black flagged at this rate, mate. Oh, I'm going to jump on board with the Ferrari of Shades. Let's see what he can do in the Ferrari. Always got a soft spot for Ferrari. Obviously, anyone who knows me behind the scenes knows that this is the team that I do cheer on. Oh, but he's coming into the pits. All part of the Ferrari master plan, I'm sure. Right then, let's go and try and find somebody else. Let's go and show the other Mark a bit of love, shall we? Let's go and jump on board with Jack, obviously a good friend of Mr. AFL. And luckily and conveniently, so is his teammate Kino. Both were lucky enough to get paired in the Mercedes. Coincidence. Oh, and he smacks it into a wall. Oh, you can hear Toto Wolff, and he's being called in to talk to him. Oh, Toto's not going to be happy. Let's jump back on board with Tom. And, as I believe he's about to set another lap. No, I think he's gone through his ERS, so he's probably not going to be setting another lap. Let's jump on board with Palmer, still sitting in the pits, and he's not done nothing. Severe Scott, he's come in. Let's jump on board with the other Red Bull of Johan. I believe that's how. I'm butchering your name, I do apologise. I'm going to call you John. John is going to be your name for when we're on stream. So John is out on, I believe he is out on a lap at the minute, and he is currently P11. Obviously, we award points all the way from P1 to P10, and Mark Wilson has been disqualified from the session. Oh, and the Red Bull, the other Red Bulls, what's he called in a war? A 5 grid place penalty for Mark Wilson. He's caused a great collision with Kitas, and it's just a bad day at the office for the Red Bulls. Oh, Mark Wilson will be starting at the back of the grid, and John smacking it into a wall. That's going to be damage right there. Right, let's go and try and find somebody else to play with. Here we go. You know what? Husky is on a hot lap now. Let's see if he can set a time. Palmer's still sat there. I don't know what he's doing. Come on, Harry. Get out and race, mate. Anyway, J. Cole, or like I said, more commonly known as Husky. Danielle, what do you feel to Mark's awful black flag and obstructing? I believe it could be one for the stewards to obviously. He's already been penalised enough. He's been DSQ'd and obviously he's been given a place penalty. Anyway, Husky crosses the line. He goes P15 as it stands. Still 5 minutes left of the... Obviously, anyone who is watching, anyone that's obviously in the league that's watching, obviously, big thank you to everyone who does tune in for this little league. Obviously, we are brand new to the E-League racing scene. Brand new E-League on the block, Season 1, Round 1. And your comms, it's streamed live to Twitch, and then 24 hours time, the race is then re-uploaded to YouTube, obviously after we've done what we need to do. Honestly, wasn't watching. Oh, Danielle, you're breaking my heart. Right, let's go find somebody else to jump on. Harry's still in the pit. Come on, Harry, get out of the pit. I want to jump on board with you and see what you're going on. Let's jump on board with Wee Rabby. I believe he's on a lap, or is he going to be coming in? No, he is on a low. He's coming in. Thanks, Rappy. Let's go and have a look. Oh, Mr. Dean's on a lap. Ooh, slight contact with the wall there. Nothing too major though. No damage. He's running low on fuel, so hopefully that's not going to impede him just too much. Well, let's take a look, see what he can do. Dean has been putting in a lot of time in the office for this race. Dan is back out on track trying to improve on that 1 minute 27. Obviously down on paddock row, I can tell you that he did set a 1:26, I believe, in qualifying in training the other day. So the man is capable of it. Here we go as Dean attempts to cross the line to potentially take provisional pole. What's it going to be? He goes on the front row at least, and it's not much separating him and Dan now as he goes P2. So let's jump on board with his rival currently as it stands. Obviously McLaren are hoping to obviously do what Lewis did in 2008 and win obviously the title. Now, there's a yellow flag. Something has happened down here. I believe it is for the Aston Martin, just going slow to avoid obviously any obstructions. Can Dan improve on that time? No improvement from Dan. Literally only by 4 tenths, I should say, of a second. That's quite unfortunate. Let's jump on board with somebody else. Let's give some love to Phantom Nug as his teammate pulls out the way. Bracey letting him pass. Can obviously the Aston Martins looked set off well. Hopefully Mr. AFL will be here very, very shortly. It's going to be a long stream house. Just under 2.5 minutes left of the qualifying session. So I believe the boys. Palmer is finally out on track. We're going to jump on board with him after Phantom Nug goes around, and then we'll get it all sorted. There is a beautiful lap here from Phantom Nug. He's not going fastest in any section at the moment, but it doesn't mean that he's not going to improve. Beautifully round the chicane as he's now coming in to what can. Here we go. He's just gone fastest sector 2. He's making me eat my words through the chicane, and now he's coming down to what is a lightning sector of the track. You really pick up speed here. This is where your overtakes will be. Section 3 all the way down through starting straight. That's where your main overtake opportunity is going to be. Obviously, DRS zone there. All right then, let's see. Where is he going to do? Is he going to improve? It's a bit of a slow time, I'm not going to lie. I don't think he's going to improve. He does improve. He goes provisional P3. Lovely time there. And he's now 200 per second between him and Dan. Now, Palmer. Oh, we've got a retirement from one of the Mercedes. Jay Keane. I don't think he's retired on track. I think he has retired in the pits. So we're going to jump on board with Palmer, who's going to be the last driver to set a time tonight. Because obviously Salvatore, unfortunately, wasn't able to set a time. And Mark Wilson has been DSQ'd from this session. Here we go. Oh God, what was that? Oh, he's in a wall and possibly bleeding out. Harry Palmer, he's whiffed it. Oh mate, and we've got that on stream. Anyway, moving on. Let's go find a driver that hasn't ploughed it into a wall. Let's go and show some board to love to Jack in the Mercedes. Oh no, he's going wide. Doesn't invalidate though, so he's all right. Just remember, if you do something silly on stream, you will get roasted. That's the whole point of me. I'm here to obviously retire. Well, not retire, I'm here to commentate. I said retire because someone retired. There's an AlphaTauri sat on track. I don't know why. That's Severe Scott, I believe. He hit the wall. That was probably a nasty one. We weren't on board with him at the time. But anyway, qualifying has now finished. So Dan currently sits provisional P1. Dean is in P2. What can Jack bring to the play? The Red Bull has crashed into the wall as well. So that'll be John out of the session. Everyone's slowly coming through. So there's going to be an Aston Martin. I believe that's going to be Bracey's coming in to retire. So the next person to cross the line is going to be a Haas. It is going to be the reserve driver. No, it's not. It's going to be the other Haas. It's going to be Wesley. What can Wesley bring to the table? Can he improve? And he does! He takes the top spot! Wesley, the reserve driver, knocking Dan off the top spot at the last second, will take the lead of the Grand Prix. Right then, it's going to be Baby driving across the line next. No improvement from him. He'll take P8. Next is going to be Jack in the Mercedes. What can he bring to the table? He doesn't go any faster. He stays at P7. Right, it's going to be the Alfa Romeo of Husky next. He's going to be looking to improve on that 1:31 time. And you've got, obviously, the reserve on the other Haas still yet to come in.
Crash I had to dodge and it killed me.
No improvement from Husky and no improvement from Verizon. So that will be our grid, which we're going to read through in just a moment. What a qualifying session. So, to rattle things off, it is Wesley in P1, Dan P2, Dean Pryor in P3, Phantom Nug P4, Bracy P5, Jim Shades in P6, Jack P7, Baby Driver P8, Scott in P9, and John P10. That rounds off the point makers. Now, starting at the second half of the grid, you've got Wee Rabby in 11th, you've got Kratos in 12th, Atom in 13th, Keen in 14th, Cole P15, Heavy Verizon in 16th, Harry Palmer not setting a time 17th, Salvatore P18 also not setting a time, and Mark Wilson unfortunately getting disqualified. They will be battling their way up, I'm sure. Now, anyone that is listening, do not ready up until I say so. So, we're going to give you guys a little bit of time. We're going to give you guys a couple of minutes to sort your strategy out. Obviously, that may give us AFL a bit of time. Now, speak of the devil, he has literally just joined Mr. AFL. We're just waiting for him to join the party, and then we will go from there. But what a qualifying session that was. Oh, there he is. You've missed qualifying, mate. Oh dear.
I'm right here for the race though.
Oh, you're here for the main event. I'll tell you what a qualifying
Perfect
session
timing.
it was.
Perfect timing. I think you got to give me a lowdown.
Dan is not on pole.
Okay, who's on pole?
Wesley is on pole.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It is going to be an interesting grid. Not much separated at the top. It is an interesting grid. We've had a couple of people plough it into a wall already. Mark Wilson got disqualified.
Oh god.
And Harry Palmer and Salvatore both didn't set a lap.
Play.
So we're going to give these boys...
we're in for interesting race then.
Oh, 100%. Oh, who readied up? Well, formation lap is on. Obviously, that will be investigated by the stewards. Obviously, you're supposed to wait until I give the go-ahead. Right then, Mr. AFL, tell me,
Hi.
what do we have to look forward to in Saudi Arabia?
Fast track, close walls, overtaking galore. I'm hoping for maybe a few DRS games, you know, especially with the last sector. I think they have actually changed the DRS zone in the last corner, because I don't know if you remember, but 2021, I think 2022, when Max and Charles are playing a few DRS games in last year's race. So I think they've changed it now, and the detection zone is further along the last sector anyway, getting into the last corner. What about you?
We've got 25 laps of racing ahead of us. Now let's take a look at the tyres, shall we? Now our front row, Wesley and Dan have both gone for the softs, and then you've got a mixture then from there. So you've got a couple of drivers on the hards. You've got Phantom Nug and Mark Wilson playing the long game on the hards. The majority of the grid is on the mediums, but John, Wee Rabby, Husky, Palmer and Salvatore all going for softs.
Very interesting strategies there.
If you was in the hot seat, what would you be thinking? What was your last strat around Saudi Arabia?
cannot remember, but I'll probably do a medium, start on the mediums. I think we're bound to see a few safety cars around here, to be honest.
100%.
So maybe a medium, try and stretch it out, and then put on a set of softs or two-stop. You just never know. Obviously, it's a high-speed track, so putting a lot of load into those tyres. So the guys are going to have to be very careful on throttle application tonight.
No, I couldn't have put it better myself, mate. And
I'll be back in 1 minute, mate.
Yeah, no worries. It is a lovely track to go racing round as well, to be fair. This is what we've been waiting for. We are now seconds away from lights out in SRL. And this is the first race where people can earn points. Stewart's office is now open for 18 hours from this point. As we now have all the drivers back in their positions, as we now get ready for the first official race of SRL. It is 5 lights out, and it is a long one. It's 5 lights out, and away we go. And it is Wesley to get us, and this camera angle is awful. We're seeing all the backsides of the drivers, but Wesley gets a lovely driver. Severe Scott, oh, there's mixtures, there's changes, there's damage around already. Dean Pryor's got a 5-second penalty. Severe, oh, there's penalties left, right, and centre. What is going on with certain drivers? Oh, and we have got a virtual safety car on turn 1. Wowee, okay. I knew Saudi Arabia was going to be tough, boys, but yeah, that isn't going to be enough. And heavily Verizon has been disqualified. Parked in a dangerous location. He's beached, so he is out of this Grand Prix. And that is a full-blown safety car. Apparently, that was game lag. If any stewards are watching, let me know how that start was, please, in the stewards chat. Because obviously we need to know if it is going to be a red flag or not. Right then, so according to the stewards, there was no major game lag, apparently. It was an incident involving another driver, obviously. Oh, we've got one person's PlayStation that has died. F in the chat, boys, F in the chat. Right, people obviously coming in to serve penalties, and, well, there will be no red flag restart for now, so this will be canon for now. Right then, so while obviously the safety car is out, let's take a look and see. You disappear, mate, and you miss everything. Apparently, someone killed someone. Oh dear.
The first corner looked quite messy.
It was very messy. It was carnage, apparently. Obviously, it will be one for the stewards to look in at a later point. Obviously, we've got drivers. Obviously, I lagged down. That wasn't my fault. Right. We will obviously any incidents. Obviously, please get them reported. Obviously, in the stewards' office, we can take a look at it at a later time. Right. So the biggest winner from that was Wesley. He kept position. The Aston Martins are now sitting currently P2, P3. Wee Rabbi is P4. He's up 7 positions. Severe Scott is up 4 positions. Kino is up 8 positions. Kratos is up 5. Atom is up 5. Mark Wilson is up 10. Husky's up 5. Shades is down 5. Salvatore is up 6. Pryor is down 10. Scott is down 6. John is down 5. Palmer's up 1. And Jack and Dan above 10, and Dan, unfortunately, is down 16. Obviously, 5-second penalties that were occurred during all that, mate, have been served, so the stewards will not be able to do anything about them 5-second penalties. I have a drink today, unlike our last com session.
At least you're prepared. You're learning each week as we go, so that's good.
Now I've got a big bottle of Lilt. We just need to pay a moment of silence to Heavenly Verizon's PS5. We have confirmation in the chat that his PS5 has sadly passed away. F in the chat. Anyway, moving on. Wesley will be leading us at the moment around Jeddah.
It's a bit of argy-bargy going on in the mid-pack. Kritas has just got a 5-second penalty behind Kino.
Was that a bit of a slight tap, a bit of a bump between them?
Not sure, to be honest. I just saw it pop up.
Well, still a mixture, so it's still a long way to go yet. It is still a very, very long way to go. I do love this track.
Race. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good track once you get a good flow. I know, obviously, what you hate about this track. But I'm going to have to say that first sector, the S section, like if you get that spot on, and as you know, we're both from the wheel now.
Yeah.
When you get that, it's lovely. Once you just hit all those apexes and you just go in with so much speed as well. And it's all blind corners around this track as well, so literally you don't know what is round the corner.
No, that is
so that
true.
Could be quite interesting tonight as well, these blind turns.
At the end of the race, mate, are you okay to grab a snapshot of the things I sent you?
Let me have a look, mate.
I sent you it in your PMs in Discord.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Safety car is in this lap, where we will get underway on lap 4 of racing. Still a long way to go. So essentially think of it as a rolling start. Yeah, it's just so we can get all the detail, because obviously it's to get everything that we're going to need.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Fantastic, fantastic dozy. Right, Wesley will be getting us underway for this restart.
Where's he going to go? Where's he going to decide to put the throttle down?
It's interesting here, because you can... I think he's gone already. I think he's not leaving it late. Yeah, he's gone. We've got a couple of penalties caught snoozing, and there's a few 5-second penalties. There's a few 5-second penalties we picked up. It's been there's been a few bumps at the back of the pack, but Wesley has caught Phantom Nug and Bracy sleeping, and he has got away quite nicely, already with a second gap. Now, are the Aston Martins going to be looking at each other going, I'm quicker, I'm faster, you let me past? Palmer has retired from the session. Was that a retirement on track? I think he's gone into the pits, so he has retired correctly, and that will be his Grand Prix over and done with. So that's 2 of the reserves already out of this Grand Prix.
What is going on tonight, mate?
I do not know. But
safety cars. It's just like a yellow flag and we're good to go again.
It is a cross-play league. It is one of those where there is going to be some teething issues. Harry, if you'd stayed in the session, mate, me and AFL may have invited you to the comms box. But you left the session, so nothing we can do now. You could have been our Ted Kravitz. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Oh, and that looks like a bump. It's Husky. Husky is out, and it's another safety car. It's the second one of the evening. When we said that Jeddah was going to wipe quite a few of the cars out, I didn't expect it to be 3 within 4 laps.
Yeah, it's a track that you put one foot wrong and that's literally it.
Yeah.
Wild Sharpedo
So
appears
fast,
catch it using
close
Poker
walls.
catch,
Literally.
winners revealed in 90s.
Well, Wee Rabby
Track
has
that
no
punishes
front
you.
wing, so he'll no doubt be coming in. Baby Driver will be looking to probably serve his 5-second penalty, no doubt, or is he going to stay out for now? He's staying out for now. He'll probably serve that later on when he comes in for his mediums. Kratos has come in, and Mark Wilson has also come in. There's a few drivers coming in. Wee Rabby naturally coming in. Wesley still keeps lead of the Grand Prix. Yeah, Mark Wilson with wing damage. Atom slowly building his way back up his P12. Let's go back up to the start of the grid, where we'll jump on board with Wesley, where he will be obviously leading us again for what will be the third start of the evening. Now, Saudi was supposed to be the second race on the calendar. There was already supposed to be points on the board, but obviously we did do pre-season last week, which was Great Britain, which was a fantastic race.
Yeah.
But if we gaze into the future, mate, next week we head over to sunny Portugal. Hope you got your suntan lotion ready.
Oh, so I hear that's one of your favourite tracks, to be honest.
It is my all-time favourite track. I do love a bit of Portmo.
Are you a bit downbeat
People
that you will
escaped.
be racing and you'll be
No
coming,
one
or
caught
how
it.
you feel about Portugal?
It's going to be different. It is definitely going to be different. Obviously, I love to take any opportunity I can to race Portugal, whether I win or lose it. I do love the track. It's where I go when I've had a bad day at the office. It's where I do go to just unwind. But when it comes to this league, SRL, I'm never going to be racing. To be fair, I'll jump in for the odd practice session with the lads to join in, so I'm not just sitting on the sidelines. But it's
Yeah.
no, it'll be different. I'm looking forward to comms again. To be fair, I've raced it several times. It's going to be nice to be comms in it.
Yeah, it's good.
And what's your thoughts
it's a
on
nice
Portugal?
track. It's a nice track. I mean, there are some difficult corners, especially traction zones, especially through the second sector. I know there's a couple of places where you can get quite a few corner cutting penalties as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can keep it within the track limits. I expect there to be quite a few track extensions and penalties and stuff like that. But it's a good track for racing. Cars can follow there, and obviously you've got that lovely right-hander turning onto the back straight as well, which is sort of like a slingshot. So I believe I'll be seeing loads of overtakes going into turn one.
No, it's true. You can get a lovely. If you can do it right, you can get a lovely overtake in turn one. But if you take turn one wrong, you go off track quite wide. But we've got a week separating us between there and Portugal. Let's turn our attention back to the race, where I believe we are just waiting on Mark Wilson to catch back up to the grid, and I do believe then it should be underway with racing again. So safety cars should be in this lap in theory. We've still got 19 laps to go before we decide our first Grand Prix winner. And currently, as it stands, Wesley hasn't really had to fight it off too much, but he is on softs.
That just extends the stint even more, though, this safety car period.
I'm assuming potentially there could be opportunities for maybe a soft to medium if obviously another safety car is more likely to make its way on the horizon. But Mark Wilson has now caught back up to the pack, so we are expecting a message from race control. Atom has just crashed into the back of Jack. That is a 5-second time penalty. Oh, not to the back. I say he's caused it. So Jack's hit him. That'll be something maybe to look into. And there is confirmation that safety car is in this lap. 3 drivers currently rocking penalties, all of which I believe are 5 seconds. We'll take a look at that now. So Baby Driver and Atom we know have got 5 seconds worth of penalties. And John also has 5 seconds of penalties. Now, Wesley went quite quickly last time. Do you think he's going to maybe spice things up a bit this time? It looks like he has.
I think the guys are a bit more aware of his previous safety car restart antics, and they're a bit closer now. The Aston Martins are quite close together as well. So we're going to see maybe a move into turn one.
Well, the Aston Martins are on opposite straps to each other. A nice move. I want to. Wesley's got away quite nicely. I want to see this battle of the Aston Martins.
Something is happening at the rear of the track.
Let's take a look.
These guys were really far behind, to be honest. I don't know what happened. It just looked like the guys had stopped, which is very strange. But yeah, we're back up to racing conditions. But
I believe Atom may have been going a bit slow, and he still is going slow by the looks of it. He is only up to 150 miles an hour. We will keep an eye on that.
He's just got on the curb as well through the S's. He's managed to stay out of the way.
Well, the Aston Martins are doing quite nicely. Dan, the favourite for a lot of our drivers, obviously for his practice, currently sits P8. Salvatore, who unfortunately didn't get to set a lap during qualifying, he's currently rocking P9, so he's comfortably in the points of the minute. I say that, he now dropped down to P10, as John makes the move around him. Now, well, you got one Ferrari in the... No, we've got two Ferraris. Shades is in P6. I do apologise, people. I am blind as a bat when it comes to looking at things, especially if I'm not wearing my glasses. Much better restart this time. I do believe the biggest losers from this, unfortunately, is P12 down. Wesley improving that fastest lap. He bits on 1 minute 32.4 in. Jack, unfortunately, must have got caught up in that slow restart from Atom. I wonder if Jack may report that or not. But there's still a long way to go. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I'm expecting more safety cars around here, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those where you know another safety car is always lurking.
Yeah.
Right, let's see if we can find a nice little battle going on. There seems to be a lovely battle on forming between Shades and Dan. Let's jump on board and see as Shades, ooh, he loses a bit. Dan's going to go for opportunity around the outside, and there is a no yellow flag, and I think that is a Ferrari. The Ferrari is Salvatore. He is in a wall. There is a yellow flag. He's spun out. I believe it is just a yellow flag. I don't think the safety car has been called.
Safety car, it's just not come up for us.
It has now, yeah, the safety car confirmed to be out, and that is one of the prancing horses out. So 4 down, 15 to go.
Just the proof that this track is really unforgiving.
It is,
wrong,
and this is why I wanted it as round 2. This is why I genuinely wanted it as round 2. It's one of those where it's because Silverstone was going to be the nice wide track where you can plenty of action, as we saw last week, and this was going to go, right, you've had wide, now let's see how you can go on a slim track. Now, Wesley is coming in. I don't think his softs are going to last much longer now, to be fair, even with the help of the safety cars. It does mean the Aston Martin pair now take lead of the Grand Prix. It's currently an Aston Martin 1-2.
If only this was Cone.
There'll be lots of points up for grabs for you if this was Cone, mate.
Yep.
Wesley coming in for a set of mediums now. If there's another safety car, he could potentially see these mediums go all the way. A lot of drivers are probably going to come into pit now, probably serve any 5-second penalties that do need serving. Salvatore not happy with what happened to himself. I don't believe he was caught up in anything. I think it's purely come down to obviously what he runs. I can't repeat what he has said on stream, but I can repeat the last little bit. He believes he is cursed for online racing. Well, that's 1 round of 15, mate. 14 rounds of curses to go. Right, while we're doing that, let's take a look to see who is the biggest winner and the biggest loser so far. So, positions change-wise. Phantom Nug and Bracy, between them, are both up 3 positions. Severe Scott is up 6. Dan is still down 2, but he's clawing his way back. John is up to P5. Baby Driver, the other McLaren, the novice, is in P6. Now, fun fact for everybody, he's aiming to at least come 6th in the World Championship at the end of Season 1. Well, if he finishes in 6th now, at least he'll have achieved that goal in round 1. Wesley is currently down to P7. Wee Rabby is up to P8. Kitas is up to P9. And Atom, the last of our points runners, is up to P10. However, a couple of drivers do have penalties, and Atom may be investigated by the stewards if someone decides to report that potential slow driving earlier. I know it's no fault of Atom, I know it's not your fault, but it's if you did hold people up, they do have the right to submit it to the stewards for investigation. Dean Pryor is in 11th, Keno is down to 12th, up to 12th I should say, Shades is down to 13th, Jack is down to 14th, and current tier 4/5 champion in CRL, Mr. Mark Wilson, is currently up to P15. Only 3 drivers are yet to stop, and that is our top 3, Phantom Nug, Bracy and Severe Scott, all still need to complete their mandatory pit stops. Remember, if it is a dry race, you have to change your tyre compounds once. If it is a wet race, you don't have to stop at all, in theory, if you can make them wet compound tyres last. Well, we're approaching, just coming up towards the halfway mark, and we've had 3 out of 5 safety cars already, mate.
It's going to be a race dominated by safety cars and VSCs, unfortunately. But if these guys can keep out the wall, they could be in with some decent points as well.
Yeah, so Aston Martin will be looking to be getting this championship off right. A 1-2 for Aston Martin. They couldn't ask for anything better. Now let's try and find out who has... I believe it's Wesley that's still got the fastest lap, if I remember correctly. It is, so not maximum points so far for Aston Martin. They need to try and get that quickest lap.
Yeah, still 15 laps to go. I've had a few guys that have done 3 stops already. That's Jack in P14 and Mark Wilson in P15. I believe they're on hard tyres as well, so they may be trying to go to the end. I believe they can get 15 laps on those tyres. So, to be honest, they could be in a decent position come the end of the race as well. There's a few guys that run new hard tyres. I just worry about the top 3. They haven't pit yet, and everybody else has. If there are no safety cars, which will be highly surprising, and the pace sort of stays quite relatively well, they could lose out quite a bit here. So I don't know whether they should have pitted, because they still had quite a big gap on the rest of the field, but that's for them to worry about and for us to worry about later on. Let's get back into the race.
Well, that is true. So, safety car is in this lap. Phantom Nug will get us going. Now, he is on the harder compound compared to his teammate Bracy, who is on the medium. So, they are running opposite strats, clearly.
Yeah.
So, let's see what this is doing. The next team that will be getting a lot of points is McLaren. Now, I'll tell you what, Bracy is looking to go for potentially on...
Oh, we've had a bit of a spin at the back.
Oh, what's happened? Is that Severe Scott? It is Severe Scott. It is the AlphaTauri. Wee Rabbi gets a 5-second penalty. And Atom has retired. I don't know where he's retired to. And guess what? It's safety car number 4.
This is getting ridiculous now.
Come on, boys. You've not really given us any action. Well, Atom is out. I don't know where he's crashed to. I really hope that isn't a potential retirement on track. Kritas picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car conditions. That will affect him in the long run. He'll have 3 laps to serve that.
There is no grip out there. 70% throttle will spin you off.
Wow. I knew it was going to be an interesting race. We're now 5 drivers out of this Grand Prix.
So did you have any predictions going into this race, or have they well and truly been blown out of the water?
For now, I'll keep them to myself until the very end of the race. I don't want to sound biased on the stream.
Fair play.
But there's been some shocks already for myself, if I'm honest. But the question is, when are these Aston Martins going to come in? So Dan has decided to come in again, so he's going to be dropping some positions. Oh, it's a double stack for the McLarens. Both McLarens have come in. Dan is in first. Baby Driver is then going to be behind. Kritas picks up another. It's going from bad to worse for the AlphaTauri.
Because Dan has a front wing change as well.
Oh, Tom's being forced to sit there and wait.
Yeah.
Oh, and he is serving a time second penalty. Luckily, let's face it, it's under safety car.
I know, but it's undone all of his hard work. Do you know what I mean? Like, he worked hard to get up to, I think he was P3 by the time.
Yeah, Dan was P3 and Tom, I think, was back up to P5, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Obviously, that's part of racing, part and parcel of racing, it happens. But I'm sure Tom won't be happy being at the back of the field now.
No, he won't be, but there's still half a race left to go yet, mate. I'm sure we've got at least one more safety car in us at least. But I'm sure Tom can do it. Right then, so we're going to jump back on board with the Aston Martin while they lead us for what will be start number 5. We're just waiting obviously for the grid to get back together again.
Sentis Corch has been caught by Daniel was 90.
Obviously, anyone that is watching live on Twitch, you can partake in our Pokecatch game. Basically, it's a Pokemon mini game where every few minutes a bot will spawn a Pokemon. You have 90 seconds to catch it. So type in Pokecatch. If you do catch it, then you add it to your team. It's just a fun little mini game to allow people to have a bit of fun while they're watching the stream. Let us know your best Pokemon you catch so far. I'm still currently hunting down a legendary if possible. I had a Mewtwo pop up once on one of my mate's streams and he ran away. You can play that game, not just on this stream when I do my SRLs on a Saturday night. You can do it whenever I am streaming. So Monday nights, me and AFL will be talking to each other as we race around in CRL on Monday nights for Tier 5. And then Friday nights, you've got Friday Night Fortnite with me, Mr. Nathan Clark, and Mr. Mark Jarvis. You can watch Friday Night Fortnite, or as I like to call it, the big multiverse battle royale. But yeah, an Aston Martin 1-2, technically AFL, an Aston Martin 1-2-3.
Funny guy.
I had to get it in there. I tell you what, the one who has done the most races so far this evening is actually the safety car driver himself.
We need to play Fortnite with you one time low.
Terrific job.
Danielle, I'll hold you to that, yeah. By all means, I'm always looking for new people to join the Spider Squad when it comes to Fortnite. Obviously, I need to get them W's racked up. This season, I've not done too well. But yeah, we continue now on. We get back to the round of F1, where 14 out of 19 drivers are still in this race. To be honest, I was actually expecting quite a few more drivers to be out by this point. Because, no disrespect to any driver, because of the nature of this track and how tight it is, one false move, as we've already seen 5 people do, and that's it, you're out. Anyway, like I was saying earlier, we only award points from P1 down to P10. We are authentic. We are keeping it how the FIA made it. However, not so corrupt. We are a decent FIA. We award points to the top 10. Fastest lap to obviously the top 10 as well if you can. Safety car is in this lap for what will be the 5th start of the evening. Are we going to see a complete set of safety cars tonight, AFL?
I hope not, because I do want to actually see a bit of racing. And I'm sure these guys on this Saturday night want to do a bit of racing as well, instead of just being following the procession of the safety car. But you've got to be in it to win it anyway. So
oh yeah, exactly.
See what happens now.
And once again, a big massive thank you to all 19 of our drivers that have given up their Saturday night. They could be out dancing or having dinner or going to the cinema, and yet they are putting on a show for our entertainment. And we are under racing again. Now, Bracey is going for a move on his teammate. Can he get round? He does have the position, but it's a good little battle between the Aston Martins.
Yep. Firm but fair from Phantom. There's obviously no team orders here, which is good to see. They're both fighting for the win. Pitch stops will be interesting for these two.
It will be, because what are we going to go to? Obviously,
try the soft.
It could be a soft. Now, Wesley is going for a move. John goes massively wide, breaching track limits there. Doesn't gain an advantage, but he has just picked up a time second penalty for breaching track limits. That's a major shock there for the Red Bull. Dan now at P8. Mark Wilson slowly creeping back up. Now remember, Kitas does have a drive-through penalty. He will need to serve that within the next 3 laps. Do you think he's going to serve it this lap and then just go, you know what, let's just keep going? I would personally.
Yeah.
Right, I think we're finally getting underway and we're seeing some good battles here. We're jumping on board with Dan, who's looking to potentially get the move done on Shades. Good battling. Oh, and that's a big impact. There's someone losing a wing. I don't know who. That's the Mercedes, I believe, of Kino, I think. No, I believe it's Kino. It is. Kino has lost his front wing. He'll be obviously coming in to repair that. I don't know what's happened there. I think there's been hit contact between him and another driver. And Alpha Romeo of Wee Rabbi is swerving around. We've got drivers coming in. We've got Kino coming in. John's coming in. I think the driver happened. And what a combination. It's between a Mercedes and a Red Bull. Where have we heard this before, AFL?
Seems to be all the time. These cars just magnets to each other.
I'll tell you what, we've got some good battling going on for the battle for P5. Shades up and Jack.
Yeah, Jack's doing a good job in P6. He's had a difficult race. He's been involved in a few collisions. But he's up to P6 now. Gets it. I hope he gets his head down now and he can just push.
Well, it seems to be battling going on now, left, right and centre, wherever we look. There is a decent battle forming with the top 4. Phantom, Wesley, Bracey and Dean all battling to take lead of this Grand Prix. And then further on down the pack, we've got the battle for P6 heating up between Jack and Mark Wilson. Severe Scott potentially could be brought into this battle if these two battle as hard as they do. Mark Wilson goes for a lovely pass and steals P6 from Jack. That was beautifully done on corner stream. Can Jack bring it back? He'll have no DRS assist for at least, I believe, another lap. Can Mark hold on to this? Bracey and Phantom Nug and Wesley are trading positions
between Jack and Mark Wilson.
Well, I'm going to leave you there with them for now while I keep an eye on our front runners who are battling it out. For P1, DRS now enabled by the race control, as it is a tight battle for P1 involving 2 Aston Martins, a Haas and a Williams. Wesley looking to retake control of this Grand Prix. Wesley looking to take the move on Bracey. Bracey now needs to defend like a lion, but is the fresher mediums of Wesley going to be able to take the older hards of Bracey?
Dean's looking quite good in P4. Is he made a move around the outside?
I say you say P4, mate. Yeah. I think you mean P3. I caught that at the last second.
Good move around the outside and to the banking.
Wee Rabbi and Baby Driver having a bit of a battle down for P10 and P9. Obviously, points awarded all the way down to P10, so these boys are still in the points, but obviously they want to get up higher if possible. And let's face it, first official race of the season, you want to be walking away with points, because that'll put you in a good mood, let's face it.
Yeah.
I believe this battle is heating up. We've shown back with the front runners at the right time. Wesley getting back round Bracey. Those newer mediums getting round the older mediums. And the newer mediums of Dean are going to be coming into play in a minute. I think Bracey or Phantom Nugs needs to be thinking about coming in. Is one of the Astons coming in? No, I think the Aston tried playing a slight dummy on there. Mark Wilson, who started this race on the back row from being disqualified in qualifying, now sets the fastest lap and is up to P5 in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, you can never count Mark Wilson out, to be honest. He's always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, you can't. The man has got a talent.
And he's in prime position now as well.
He is.
On the guys in front.
He potentially could be. He's on the... Jack gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, for multiple track limits. This is where we're now going to see Dan on the other hand went, sorry, Mark, that's mine, as Dan will now be getting involved. Ooh, I was going to say he's going to be getting back with his teammate. So, Tom, that was breaching track limits there. That was caught on stream. That could be one for the stewards to maybe potentially look at. Would he gain an advantage? Answer on a postcard, please, or in the comment section below. But let's jump on board. Mark Wilson, P4 now. He's slowly coming into this battle. Stops. There's only 2 drivers yet to come in. And guess which drivers that is? It's the Aston Martin boys. Neither Aston Martin has yet to come in. Now, is it wise or is it foolish with this late on into the race? At least at long last, AFL. We're actually getting some battling.
Yeah, that's good to see. The Aston Martin, I think, yeah, Bracey's just had a bit of snap.
Yeah, he's staying out though.
He's staying out.
His teammate of Phantom Nugs, I believe, is coming in.
He's coming in, yeah. He's coming in. He's seen the light.
Oh!
And he's got a 5-second penalty speeding in the pit lane.
That's not what you want to see this late on with 7 laps to go. Surely it'd be a set of red walls going on for Phantom Nug. No, he's gone for a set of yellows. He's gone for some mediums. Well, Dean will now be hunting down Wesley. Bracey is now going to be under threat from Mark Wilson. John sets fastest lap of the session. He saw Dan's time and went, I'll raise you this. 1 minute 13. Lovely, lovely time.
I think Phantom's played it a little bit safe there, you know, coming on mediums.
Yeah, I think he has. Especially if we do get that last fabled safety car.
Let's see anyway. Dean is within a second of Wesley. So he should be getting DRS once they go through the next detection point. Does he? Yes, he does. DRS is really powerful around here as well.
Now, my partner Jess is currently sat behind me watching, I'm assuming, what is TikTok, and it took every strength of my body not to quote what she was watching. If you can already hear her laughing in the background. But Mark Wilson is currently hunting down Bracey for that podium. Like I said, he started on the back row, and he is now within touching distance of a podium. The man has got a talent. I mean, I've always enjoyed racing against Mark in CRL, and I'm so fortunate that he's decided to go, you know what, let's race in a Crossplay League. He stepped into the unknown, well, as all these boys have. He's on Crossplay, let's give it a go. Jack, your mate picks up a 3-second time penalty. Let's see, there seems to be a bit of a battle going on between Dan and Phantom Nugs. Oh, a slight tap on the wall there from Dan. Doesn't appear to have had any damage, but that could have very, very ended badly.
I think the battle for P1 is hotting up. Dean is within 4 temps now. So I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely do. Looks as it, or can Dean get the move done? He's looking for it. He will have DRS assist going in. This is where the overtakes can happen here.
Yeah.
They've both got pretty much equal amount of ERS, let's face it. Can Dean get the move done? He does. Beautiful. And that was a gorgeous overtake.
If Wesley keeps it together, he will get the DRS now.
He will do.
On Dean as he Right. Yes, he does get the DRS. Is he going to make a move into turn 1 now?
Well, the thing is, what these boys need to remember, this battling they've got up front, look who's lurking in the background. Mark Wilson's on his way.
I think he just kept it out there, really. That's a good move. Good usage of ERS as well, and it's all about setups as well. Is somebody using lower downforce setup to get them through those straights, or a higher downforce?
Bracey is coming in for a set of softs, and he'll be our last pit runner that needed to do their mandatory stop of the evening. Phantom Nug goes 1 minute 30, the other Aston Martin driver. Dan up to P8. He's slowly lurking. But Dean has been putting in a blind of a race. To be fair, all of these drivers have been putting in a blind of a race this evening. With just 6 laps left to go, AFL, who has so far impressed you the most?
Obviously, Mark Wilson. But I'm also, and this is not me being biased at all, I'm also really impressed with Jack, how obviously he's had 3 stops. He was down at the back as well. He's now P5. Obviously, he's got a few penalties to contend with, but he's having a clean race in terms of the last couple of laps. And yeah, if he can carry on, you never know what you can get. I'd say Dan is doing quite a decent job as well in P8. Obviously, he had that front wing change as well, and he's making some inroads now. I think we should give driver of the day to everybody that finishes this race. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I think I couldn't agree with you more. However, there can only be one, and that will be decided by the 19 drivers that have raced today. Driver of the day is open. There is a channel on the Discord server. Make sure you do go and vote for your driver of the day. You cannot vote for yourself. Whoever voted for themselves last week, A for effort, but your vote didn't count. But the battle for P1 is still hotting up. They're both on the same age tyre, and they are battling for the first win.
Magby has been caught by Daniel was 95.
And it's going to be...
Like a game of chess, this.
It is like a game of chess. It's one false move and it's checkmate.
Yeah.
Mark Wilson is slowly catching, but I think the front 2 have done enough to get out of his grasp. But still, from back row to P3, lovely result so far for Mark. I think he'd be happy with where he finishes regardless. Let's see if there's any other battles going on.
He's a winner. He wants to win all the time.
Oh,
so.
he's a Red Bull driver through and through, let's face it.
Yeah.
Well, Bracey, the other Aston Martin driver, is trying to go for a move on Dan. Can he get it done? The battle for P8 is hotting up. He does have DRS assist. He's trying to go around on the inside. Dan defending well. He's using his ERS and potentially... Here we go. DRS is active again. Remember, you get that DRS and then into the chicane, and then you get another dose of it as well. Can he get the move done? It's softs versus old hards. If he plays it well, he'll have DRS again. He's using his ERS to try and get the move done, and I think he's done what he needed to do. So long as he keeps that stream up, he will, and he has. He's now taken P8 in the Grand Prix. Dan can only watch as that Aston Martin now goes after his teammate.
It's one of those what could have been for those 2 Aston Martins, I believe.
Yeah, you think the first start of the race, I mean, they pretty much led the Grand Prix, but then again, so did the safety car.
Yeah.
It is a harsh circuit to start the season on, but like I said, it wasn't supposed to be the season opener. But it's still been an entertaining race.
That's just Rob being evil.
If you think that's evil, well, we'll just go for a quick look at the calendar again, shall we, mate? And we'll just have another recite of the calendar for what's coming up in this season. So obviously we've had Great Britain and Saudi Arabia is coming to a close now. Next week we head over to Europe and we go into Portugal, and then we've got a week break. Then we head over to Qatar and Miami, followed by another week break. Australia, China, and the dreaded Monaco Grand Prix before a 2-week break. And then we've got a 8-header of Brazil, Mexico, Imola, Austria, Abu Dhabi, Belgium, Monza, before we crown our champion in Las Vegas.
What a place to hopefully crown a champion.
I would love a battle right
Vegas.
to the very end.
Yeah.
Well, Wesley has slipped a little bit away from Dean. Dean is pretty much now nearly a second in front with 2 laps to go. Dean's got a show, and we've got a yellow flag, and Mark Wilson picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's the other Red Bull that is out of this Grand Prix. Oh, so unlucky for John. Just 2 laps shy of the finish line. Oh, especially in this track, for that to happen, And we got another yellow flag, I believe, and that's Wee Rabby joining the DNF club very shortly after John, and now there was 12.
Got a good battle with the 2 Aston Martins versus Mercedes with Jack. Those Aston Martins are looking to pounce, to be fair.
Well, the Aston Martin has pounced. He's heard you, and he's taken it as a go into the chicane. Lovely battling from these 3 drivers. Now, you know how I said earlier that Wesley was pretty much a second behind Dean? You might want to look again. Wesley and Dean are now battling one another once again. It's going to be a battle to the finish. They've both got no penalties. Who is going to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix?
Right, that was very contentious there from the Aston Martin.
Oh, did you catch that?
Jack there, yeah. I don't know what went on. I only saw the last bit there, but it looks like somebody had turned into another. I'm not going to say who.
That will be one for the stewards to look into then. Anyone that's got the footage, can you please obviously submit it? But, yeah. Well, controversy in the last few laps as the battle for P1 is still heating up. Dean is slowly creeping away from Wesley once again.
There's always some controversy in
Formula One.
this track as well, especially here.
Yeah.
Oh, and wow, Wesley's made the move. But
he has.
Dean just gonna... How much DRS has Dean got? Okay. He's got enough.
It's going to be interesting. We've got 1 lap left to go and a tight battle to the very end.
He's gone to the outside. They've left each other room.
Oh, a bit of lag spike there, yeah. Doesn't appear to be anything too major. Obviously, that's bound to happen with crossplay. We do expect it. To be fair, it's been quite good for the majority of it, to be fair. Jump on board with Wesley for now, who's riding off into the sunset a little bit. 7 seconds in front again, but we've had this before where Wesley got in front or Dean got in front and the other one slowly caught back up. It's been a good race. There's been some controversy in the last few seconds of this Grand Prix. And obviously it will be one for the stewards.
As we're on the last lap of the race, let's see, is Dean close enough to possibly send it down the inside, getting into the final corner? What has Wesley just done enough? We shall see as we
I think Wesley may have just done enough.
Looks like it, yeah. Dean is derating now. He's used up most of his ERS. So yeah. Wesley is coming down.
An amazing Grand Prix, but it can only be won by one driver, and it's going to be in the Haas. Wesley will win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and Dean follows into the very end, and he will pick up P2. Now we jump on board with Mark Wilson, who will be the last of our pole sitters. He's gone from the back grid to the front. Mark Wilson will come in P3. And now we just wait for everyone. Shades will cross the line in P4. The Aston Martin caught in controversy will come in P6. Now we've got a bunch of penalties now which will be applied, and we will go from there. Severe Scott is going to cross the line next, and he will come in P7. Kino in P8 more unlikely in the Mercedes.
Kino had a quiet race, to be fair, but still points for him. I'm sure he'll be happy, content with that, and it's a good starting base for him. So yeah,
it is.
Well done,
Tom
Kino.
will also be happy. He has picked up some points. Jack right at the very end. Oh, Jack, what happened? He's in a war. I think he's been caught up with the Aston Martin of Bracey. Oh, right at the very end. That needs looking into, and Kitas will be the last of our drivers to cross the line, and that will be our Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Remember, people, the steward's office is open.
A busy stewards meeting.
Yeah, this will be a very busy stewards meeting. Jack has left the server.
Wow.
Well, we will review, obviously, everything that we do need to review, but it can only be one by one, and Wesley is our first winner. Obviously, Wesley wasn't caught up in anything too major, so him and Dean should be pretty much safe. But
Right, what do you want me to get a screenshot of, mate?
I need you to grab the pit stops and any. Let's have a look. What did I send you? Pit stops. So obviously, what their tyre strategies was, and obviously the amount of incidents people were caught into.
Cool.
I will grab everything else. So, just to round things off. Obviously, you can see this is where everybody
There's loads
finished.
of pit stops. Pit stops and incidents as well, yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, there's a lot of everything here.
Literally. Probably make better for me to just record it all.
Yeah, probably so. But yeah, Wesley, Dean and Mark, our top 3 drivers. What a race. What a round 1. And it potentially resulted in someone leaving Mercedes. Only time will tell. I will try and, if you can have a word with Jack, mate, and find out, obviously being your mate, find out what's going on. Obviously, I don't want to see anyone leave so early on.
Yeah, we won't discuss this on stream. This will be done after.
Yeah.
But yeah, good race.
It's been a very, very good race. Now, normally, streams would what's it called, do a post-race interview. However, with this being cross-play, we have agreed that because it'd only be the PlayStation people that would be hired on stream, if we did it via Discord, PC and Xbox wouldn't be hired on stream. We're not going to be doing any post-race interviews. So, we're going to go for a final word from me and AFL. I think it was a good race up until the very end, where there's been a lot of controversy. We will obviously look into it as stewards. AFL, your final thoughts of that?
It was definitely a drama-filled race, but that is Saudi Arabia for you. And I wouldn't expect anything less. So yeah, well done to the guys for putting on a good show, and the guys to finishing the race as well. Well done to them.
Yeah, everyone did put in a good Saturday night shift, but yeah, so obviously we are going to end things there. Tune in next week where we will take the SRL Season 1 over to Portugal, and I got a feeling that tomorrow night is going to be a very, very long stewards meeting. I've been your host, SRL Spider95. My good friend, as always, has been AFL 1994. We will see you next week in Portugal for round 2 of SRL. We'll see you over there.
See you later.